freestanding models. So these a low geometry. It's fast for us to build.
Pixar is one of those happy accident stories, like phone maker Nokia, which started as a rubber boot company, or video game company Nintendo, which used to run taxi cabs. Pixar started out as a computer company selling the Pixar box, which it hoped would allow movie companies, Disney in particular, to use a computer instead of hand-drawn cells to create animation. But, says Pixar chronicler David Price, Disney hated the idea even after early movie animation got fairly good results. Here's some of the very first on-screen animation done by a Pixar founder in the movie Future World, way back in 1976. Absolute state-of-the-art.
I have the holograph on my screen.
Or this, not done by Pixar, but this animation caught the eye of a young Disney animator named John Lasseter, who tells his bosses, hey, this is the future.
He sees early test footage for a movie called Tron, comes out in '82. It has 15 minutes of computer animation, which is just mind-blowing at that time. It's very primitive, but he sees what it can do, where it could be taken. And he agitates to try to get Disney involved in computer animation back then, in the very early '80s. And not only does he not succeed, he gets fired.
One of the dumbest business decisions ever made. Lasseter joins Pixar, and to convince animation companies he's right, they're wrong, he starts making short films entirely on computer, like this one, the most famous of all Pixar shorts, Luxo Jr. Pixar didn't want awards, it wanted to sell more Pixar computers. The shorts were really just ads aimed at computer scientists and animators, people who might buy hardware.
And lo and behold, these short films start winning awards. A Tin Toy wins an Oscar. And this gets Disney interested. This gets them started on the road that they're obviously on now.
Take this early work called Knick Knack, shown at a professional video graphics convention. When it was re-released as extra content 15 years later on the Finding Nemo DVD, the historical film was, well, changed. Perhaps you can spot the difference. Old version on the left, new version on the right.
Well, all of the short films from the 1980s, Luxo Jr., Red's Dream, Knick Knack, were not meant for children or for family audiences. They were made to be exhibited at technical conferences. It was to promote what Pixar was doing with its computers, with its software. So they're thinking of these engineers in the audience having fun with it. And then when they re-release it today, they do have to make some key changes to Knick Knack to make it a Disney release.
The Pixar shorts grew so popular, executives at the company began to realize it wasn't the box that makes the movie, but the movie itself that would make them a fortune, and they started working on a story about toys. From there,
to infinity and beyond!
The company, which actually started in its very early days, owned by Star Wars creator George Lucas, was purchased for $5 million by Apple founder Steve Jobs, who eventually sold it to Disney for $7 billion. That story in Price's book, Pixar.